Life is full of ups and downs. Sometimes we achieve and sometimes we lose. And in this process, we experience pleasure for achieving and sorrow for losing on to something. An amazing fact here is that we keep on experiencing different emotions. The more diverse we are, the more mature our mindset is going to be. These experiences help us to make better decisions for ourselves. This diversity helps us to develop our mind's thinking process in the best possible way. Today we have a young and dynamic personality with us, Mr. Malay Khandkar. He is a live example of diversity and excellence. Let's hear it out from him in another episode of the AK Show.
Hi viewers, I am Kunal, your host. I am back with another video. Today we have a very special guest with us, Mr. Malay Khandkar. He is currently working with cure.fit as a habit coach. Let's welcome him on board. Hi Malay, how are you?
Hi Kunal, I'm good. How are you?
I am good. I hope that in this pandemic, you and your family is safe.
Yeah, very much. Hope the same for you. And
Yeah,
thanks for having me here.
yeah, Malay. It's our pleasure to have you. Malay, I know that you are quite active when it comes to physical activities and cricket. So our viewers would like to know a bit about you, about your cricketing journey.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
So I started off very young. So when I was, on in my third, fourth standard, that's when I started playing cricket from club. So I started playing club cricket and then went on to at one point I also got selected in BCA. So that's Vidarbha Cricket Association, which is a cricketing body that plays BCCI affiliated tournaments. So I got selected there in academy, and I did not make it to the team, but I was there in the standbys, and I played well in the trial matches and all, but did not make it. Eventually, that was under 16. So when I was before 16 years of age, uh, then I kept playing under 19. I did not make it, but I kept playing A division cricket, which is the top level of club cricket within the district of Vidarbha. So I kept playing that. So yeah, that's how my journey of cricket has been like. So I played till professionally till I was 21 years of age, and that's when I kind of thought that I need to kind of switch to other career option.
Okay. Yeah, Malay, correctly said because if, for example, if one career is not working for us, then it is not necessary. Then we should stick to it only. We should also look forward to some other career options, and you did the same. So, Malay, you said that till the age of 21, you were quite active in cricket. So, what was your graduation, and it was in which field, and how did you decided that this is the perfect field for you to pursue?
Right. So my bachelor's was in arts. So basically, my subjects were psychology, English literature, and communicative English. That's another subject. So these three were my primary three subjects. Most important among them was psychology, and this graduation bit I did alongside while I was playing cricket. So I played till 21 years, till I completed my bachelor's. So these two things were going on simultaneously. So at one point, at one hand, I was looking at cricket as a career, and on another hand, I was also continuing with my education, something that I liked, which was psychology. And psychology came up because it's something that I kept reading about, always reading about some or other book related to psychology. So that's where the interest grew, and I thought that doing bachelor's in psychology would be a great option going ahead. So that's how psychology came up. So yeah.
Malay, we actually know one more thing about you, and that is you completed your master's degree in psychology from TISS. And as we
Mhm.
all know that TISS is such a renowned institute, and it is not at all easy to get into it. So, what was your preparation strategy for the same, and how did you made it? How did you convert it?
Yeah. So first of all, Tata Institute of Social Science making a decision to go there. So that was also quite a story. So cricket as it is was going on, but I was, kind of figured out that towards the end that it's not going, uh, to the in the direction where I can make a career out of it. So I, kind of, that was a tough decision to kind of switch like professionally, uh, and I thought that it was the right time to make this decision because I was also completing bachelor's. So this was around that time where the TISS entrance was just nearing, uh, like it was just 1 or 2 months down the line, and I had a terrible cricketing season. So I thought that I was at that point seriously considering these other alternative career options, and psychology is something that struck out for me. So I dig in and did some research and found out that Tata Institute of Social Science is one of the best colleges in India. Like it's very renowned for arts, specifically social science, uh, social work specifically, and psychology. So these are the subjects which it is very popular for, apart from the HR subject. For HR, it is known a lot that I know. So I figured out that TISS is something that I should look forward to, and uh, the exam of testnet was 1 or 2 months down the line at that point, when my cricketing career was in a mess. So that's when I started preparing, and within a month or two I prepared myself enough to crack that exam.
Malay, as you said that it took around 1 or 2 months to prepare, but we know that people are not finding at all it easy to crack in a single attempt, and you
Mhm.
cracked it in the preparation of hardly 1 or 2 months. So how it was possible? Because people tend to take gap years or multiple attempts to crack the same, and you did it in your first attempt, and that too in the preparation of 1 or 2 months. How it was possible?
Yeah, so thanks. What I think what helped me was I was already good in academics, and once I kind of pinpointed on this is what I wanted to do. So the preparation bit was not very hard for me because, as I said, I was already good in academics. So I just needed to figure out what strategy worked for me, and being very specific and concise about what I study, where I studied from, the resources that I use. So I was very particular about these kind of things, which kind of helped me narrow down on very few relevant topics to study. Uh, and I practiced a lot. Basically, I believe that practicing is very important. So I used to do a lot of mocks, uh, mock papers and practice papers and all of these things. So there's no mock testnet papers out there. Like a lot of institutes do give mocks, but I don't think that they are very relevant. So I used to uh, do mocks from different websites. So once I decided that mathematics is something I want to focus on, so I figured out which websites provide good mocks in the subject of mathematics. Similarly for other subjects, right? So testnet is basically quantitative aptitude, uh, your general knowledge, GK, and English. So these are the three elements in testnet. So I figured out for each of these three elements where I need to study from and where I can get the mocks from. So I just practice along a lot, and that kind of helped me crack testnet. And I remember my score was around 64, uh, and the cutoff was around 54, 55 for our subject, which is psychology. So I was comfortably above the cutoff mark. Uh,
That's great, Malay. You made it in your first attempt. So in TISS, how was your life at TISS, and what are the learnings that you are using now that you took from TISS?
hmm. So this was a great experience. First of all, getting in it was a surreal experience in itself. Like cracking it, the feeling was quite unique, and one of the best feelings that I had when I got the result that I cracked it. And it was such a feeling of accomplishment that I decided to do something, and within a month or two I was able to crack it. Uh, so that was a great feeling at that point. And even after going to TISS, it was one of the most the best moments that I had in there, I would say, for sure. So TISS taught me a lot of things. Uh, Primary among them being more socially aware. So being well aware of the socio-politics of where you live in, right? The social context, how if someone is going through something, what are the factors apart from himself, which is, the society, uh, which is influencing his actions, his decisions. So we kind of, uh, blame the person for whatever he's going through. Like that's a general tendency we have. But this taught me that there are a lot of factors that we don't even consider, right? For example, sheer politics of it, uh, the opportunities that the person gets because of his, familial background, right? The resources that he has, for example, monetary resources, all these factors contribute. And studying in a social science institute, I got that awareness of all these factors, and that helped me build compassion towards, people and what they are going through, and not blame someone for their, you know for their misfortune, and also not credit someone for their fortune, right? So this is something we talk a lot about privileges, right? So counting your privileges. So if you are being able to, get access this nice education, there are a lot of privileges behind it. So this also helped me, acknowledge some of these privileges, something that we kind of talk about in general discourse these days. So yeah, so this taught me a lot to be a lot of a social creature, I would say. And in terms of the subject matter, it was, the best faculty, I would say. I'm really fortunate to have such a great faculty, which was so socially minded, so socially aware, and uh, their theories also, they were quite relevant to the context, social context. So I really enjoyed my experience with this.
Malay, you said very correctly, and that is the name itself says Tata Institute of Social Science. So the word social science is there in the name of college, and as you said that Tata Institute of Social Science made you socially active and alert. Along with
Mhm.
that, it helped you to figure out the broader prospect of things, broader way of looking at things, instead of looking at things in a narrow way. So that was a good thing. And he also said that there are multiple ways of outcomes, or multiple outcomes of a particular thing. So we can't decide on few outcomes that this is correct or this is wrong. We should have a look at it from a broader perspective for the better understanding. So that's a really very good thing. And the kind of message that you have shared here today, that it actually it is going to help many people, because uh, people are not aware in many things, and they tend to take decisions on the basis of the thought process that they have with them, on the basis of their past experiences. But at the same time, they are actually lacking the right kind of awareness to take the correct decision in their life. So yeah, so the kind of exposure and the kind of learning that you got from TISS was good enough and valuable, and now you are using it in your journey ahead. So Malay, after TISS or while TISS, what did you decided that what you want to do ahead?
It was also an interesting phase where, you know, uh, coming into TISS and studying at TISS, like it was a great experience as it is. And then towards the end, like towards, the final year, I began to, think about, the various career prospects that are ahead of me in the field of psychology. And I got to know about NET, UGC NET exam. A lot of people are aware of it, which is basically national eligibility test. Uh, this is the exam that people give to get certificate of professorship. So this certificate they can then take to the various institutes, and based on that certificate they can, proceed in their career of being a professor. So I got to know about this exam, and I thought that this is an interesting career option that I should surely explore, and that's when I decided that I should appear for this exam. So this net exam UGC conducts it. It happens twice a year. So, but because of the pandemic and all, it it happened only once last year, and that too it was meant to happen around June, if I remember it correctly, and it got postponed so much that it happened on September October. So that's when I kind of appeared. So before June, I got to know about this exam, and I started preparing for it. And this is also quite similar to the story of me appearing for TISS NET. I also, in this case, I also started off a little late. So before June, like 1 month back, uh, around May, I started preparing for this NET exam, National Eligibility Test, and uh, the exam kept getting postponed. So that helped me get more time to prepare, and I prepared very well. So much so that I not only cleared NET, uh, but I also cleared JRF, which is Junior Research Fellowship. So this is not a separate exam, it's a same exam that you appear for NET. But to qualify for JRF, which is Junior Research Fellowship, you have to be uh, above 99.9 percentile. Do you get it? So you have to be around 0.1 percentile, top 0.1 percentile to qualify for JRF. And basically what JRF means, for someone who does not know, is basically you get stipend, which is around 30 to 40,000 per month, while you study for PhD. So this is an incentive that the government gives. It just basically government says that you study your PhD, and we will pay you. So that's the basic concept behind it. So stipend of for 30 to 40,000 per month is paid to avail, and you can do PhD and side by side have a decent earning. So this was also a thought behind appearing for exam, that it will be nice to start earning, right? While studying. I thought the concept is great. Like you study and you also start earning. So that was also thought process behind appearing for it, and I eventually cracked the JRF. Uh, so I have not really enrolled myself in PhD exam. So only when I enroll myself in PhD exam can I PhD course would I get the stipend of JRF. So to avail this benefit, I need to enroll myself, which I have not done yet. But this is something that I can do within 3 years of appearing for exam. So I appeared for exam around September in 2020. So around September 2023, that's a window I have to enroll myself in PhD exam and start availing the JRF.
So from all this, we can say that Malay is a very good example of right kind of awareness and approach, because usually people think that only respective fields are there which offer a great career, but it is not so, because Malay is a live example of proper awareness and guidance, because he proved that in psychology also you can do well if you have a right approach of how to do things and when to do things.
So yeah, Kunal, psychology is an emerging field. It's not very well established. So uh, when you compare it with fields like engineering or medicine, I think they are very well established, and you get paid accordingly as well. So psychology comparatively is an emerging field, especially in our country. But it's surely a great career option. And some of the career options that we can think of is one I mentioned, being a professor, doing PhD and going on to do professorship. That's one career option. Another is, you can do counseling, core counseling. So that can be in a clinical setup, which is basically your hospitals, or it can also be a non-clinical setup where you will be called a counseling psychologist. And you can, do it privately, give counseling privately, or connect with some organization, like join some organization as an employee. So these are also various options that people can explore in the field of psychology. And apart from that, there are, psychology is a very broad subject, right? So there's sports psychology within it. There are different various fields. Like uh, a few days back, I heard about travel psychology, a very unique field again. So there are a lot of subfields within psychology. So it's not one thing. But primarily, people go for counseling and clinical psychology. That's the primary field within psychology. But there are also others like sports psychology and industrial psychology, where you basically work in an industrial setup, which is corporates, and you try to uh, look after the well-being of employees. So you are a counselor within an organizational setup. So these are various kind of options that you have when you choose psychology as your subject. And yeah, there's a lot to choose from, I would say.
As Malay said, that psychology itself is subdivided into many categories. But Malay, adding on to this point, I would like to ask you one question: that what is the importance of psychology in our day-to-day life?
Yeah. So it's funny, like we also joke around it, my friend and I, that psychology is basically everywhere. This is something, psychology is truly like it's everywhere. Like uh, the psychology of uh, why it basically deals with the question of why the humans do what they do, right? Why would you do what you do? And it takes a lot of, like, that's a very broad way of looking at it, but there's a lot deeper if you go into it. And if you talk about daily life, like your thoughts, your emotions, how to live a better life, I think psychologists can help you with that. If you are struggling with something, psychologists can help you with that. uh, and in general also, people keep trying to grow themselves. I think self-help uh, as a as an industry has grown a lot. People read a lot these days, and a lot of times this information that they get are not from credible sources also. So psychologists are some people who are studying this subject from a very scientific perspective. So when psychologists say something, it's based on a lot of research. So which is why self-help, I'm kind of criticizing a bit self-help industry here, which is because they're not, a lot of times they are not psychologists and they are not coming from a very scientific background. And psychology psychologists study the human behavior from a very scientific point of view, and when they're saying something, it is very much backed with research. So yeah.
So that's great to know, Malay. And Malay, one last question of our this
Mm.
session, and with this we will wind up our session. So Malay, what you are doing now, and what are the
Mm.
job opportunities?
Yeah, thanks for asking that. So so I studied at TISS, so that's where we have these placements. So I myself was a part of a placement committee. So my job was to facilitate placements, like being a kind of a mediating role between the students and the companies, the organizations. So I was there in placement committee myself, and I also got placed in one of the organizations through the placement committee itself. And the company that I got placed into is cult.fit. It's also called cure.fit. Uh, and it's a company in the fitness industry, health and fitness industry. And it's something, the what my job role within this organization is, it's basically, it's called habit coach. Now you may not have heard about it a lot because this is a new field. Basically, the problem that we are trying to solve as coaches is the fact that a lot of people know what to do in terms of nutrition, in terms of health, but they are not able to do it, right? Something a lot of people have experienced. So we are trying to solve this problem by building healthy habits. So habits are something we are trying to build through this program. And this program is basically is very new. It has not been launched to the market, and it's in a in the stages of launching. It will be launched in no time, like within a few weeks probably. And we will be the first batch of habit coaches there. And also see something, some sort of luck, some sort of fortune here, because I myself have been in a fitness kind of an area where I used to play. So I was always related to fitness, related to health, and this is something that I was very passionate about right from the beginning. And here came an opportunity where there's fitness, where there's psychology, where there are a perfect mix of the two things. So the job role that I have currently, that it's a mix of psychology. You will be coaching, right? You will be counseling people. So there is certainly a big element of psychology, as well as there is an element of fitness, element of nutrition, which are also things that I'm passionate about. So currently, where I am right now, I feel very lucky, very fortunate to have landed at this place, because this product that the company is launching, there was no product like this. So it's something new, and it's something that new that is being created, and I'm being a part of it. I feel kind of fortunate that my life story kind of intercepted with the company uh, expanding their team. And it was a kind of a perfect mix, and I feel very fortunate to be at this place currently, and I'm happy.
So Malay, in this journey, who would you like to thank?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, there are a lot of factors to consider, right, Kunal? So surely, where I am right now, I'm not responsible for it. I have a part in it, but I'm not totally responsible for it. So all along, I would like to thank everyone basically who have crossed my path, who have kind of influenced me in certain ways. My family, topmost among it. They have always supported me in whatever I chose for myself. So when I was playing cricket, I had full support, and I went for psychology, I had full support. So I think big kudos goes to them. Without them, I wouldn't have even begun this journey. And yeah, as I mentioned, everyone who crossed my path, right from the professors to my friends, uh, to those who supported me in my tough times, right, to those who guided me in important junctures. I think I'm grateful for all of them. I'm not saying any names because I'll miss a lot of them when I call out names. So that's why I'm not doing that. But certainly a lot of people have helped me.
Yeah, Malay, I do understand. And with this, I would like to say that Malay, you shared a lot of information with us related to this field of psychology. People who are watching this video and who are planning to go in this field can take the most out of it. And with this, I would like to thank you for being our today's guest. And viewers, please stay tuned to our show, The AK Show, for more videos. And please subscribe to our channel, The Hoopsicle TV. Thank you.